What is going on to you, Aquarius? Happy birthday. So you have the Three of Michael, the Knight of Ariel, and then you, Aquarius, also have solutions. So one more test to take for tomorrow. Also Valentine's Day, one more test to take. And if I pass that test, it's all go pretty much at this point. I'll be certified. So wish me luck. After I get off of this, as far as finish with the 6 videos, I plan on studying. Like it is, I said before, I think I have something to contribute. I already have some people who's like, hey, if and when I get the job, they'll actually sign up and they'll be some of my first customers. So, like I said before, I not only that, but I have a lot to contribute. You know, all I need to do is just make sure I don't mess up, which I don't plan on. Anyway, the Three of Michael, the Knight of Ariel, and the solutions right here speak to how you, Aquarius, um, okay, that's interesting. Because the Three of Michael and the Knight of Ariel speak to how, like, you, Aquarius, have gotten over some form of heartbreak. So it's like some sort of like relationship heartbreak. So maybe this is for you, Aquarius, who are single, right? Obviously, you're not looking anymore romantically. So you are right. That would mean that you're in a relationship. This is more so for single Aquarius, but obviously anybody can listen in. Three of Michael, Knight of Ariel, heartbreak, but then moving forward from that heartbreak. Um, the solutions right here speaks to also how you, Aquarius, also understand that you have found other ways, essentially, you found a way to solve the heartbreak. You're not going to be standing around. Okay. So, I got a better understanding of what this is. So, remember how it is I was saying that, the difficulties on like the job or stuff like this, or whatever the difficulties are, it just seems like people are starting trash with you. So, you found a solution to that. You found a way out from that. You actually solved those problems and you got those situations set. The decisions and the Sun card right here represents, but now you, Aquarius, now know how it is that people are playing, right? They're playing a game first and foremost, and they're playing the game, but they're not playing fair. They're being quite disingenuous. They're cheating, basically, to win the game. Now, granted, who are they playing against? Right? But at the same time, they're playing a game. And the situation with that is the decision in the Sun card speaks to how you, Aquarius, you see it now more than ever, says the Sun card, opposite sign in Leo, right? Leo represents attention on one level. So the Sun card, the spotlight, right? The Sun represents the galactic spotlight. So the spotlight represents where the attention is going, or where the attention is supposed to be. And that's why it is that, like, people on the theater and stuff like this, especially if it's live and in person, there's a spotlight on these people because it's showing you where your attention is supposed to be, right? Or where your attention could be if you're not paying attention to it at all. And you, Aquarius, pretty much got the summation, or you got the understanding that pretty much, a lot of people aren't playing fair. A lot of people don't really want to get to know you. A lot of people don't on these jobs are not really acting like they're supposed to be acting. They're supposed to be just, they're supposed to be fair, but they don't move like that. A lot of them are moving like cliques. They're moving like a club. And you, Aquarius, see it for what it is. And it just furthermore proves your own point as to why it is that you Aquarius are very, you seldom or rarely do you socialize with the higher ups, right? You pick and you choose now, and you're wise about whom it is that you Aquarius are actually socializing with. The Queen of Raphael and the Knight of Gabriel speaks to how it says that's the case. A lot of you are learning to use your intuition slash instinct. It's not just intellectual anymore. A lot of you Aquarius are learning how to tap into the more emotional so-called theoretical realm. And a lot of you don't like that. See, a lot of you Aquarius think that back in the days, I should say, you used to think that emotions was theoretical. And it's like, it's not real. That's not true. That's not true. It's just that emotions are not. See, emotions are going on inside of the body. You feel me? So because emotions get created and they move inside of the body, it doesn't mean that it's theoretical, meaning that it's trash. It just means that you cannot experience the exact standpoint that the way that the other person experiences it, meaning exactly to the tune of them. You can understand it and you could feel compassion, but you cannot understand it uniquely the way that they do it because it's going on with them, right? Their own emotions is happening inside of their own body. So what's happening here is that the situation for that is that you understand that that's what it is that people are doing, right? They're playing a game, even though you solve the problem. But you Aquarius also, like I said before, you're diving into the spiritual aspects of things a little bit more, right? And why that's so important is because the Knight of Gabriel and the Queen of Ariel. Because you Aquarius, you realize that there is a need for that. You cannot deny it. There is a need for that. What I'm picking up is that you Aquarius you've known a lot of the time, like you've had more supernatural experiences than you would like to admit. And what I mean when I say supernatural, I'm talking about it because people are gonna sensationalize it. I'm talking about it from the perspective of like, that somebody was two-faced and they were untrustworthy, and for whatever reason you didn't listen to it and you doubted it, and then the next thing you know, you ended up regretting it due to the fact that you Aquarius you understand that you have to actually trust your instincts slash intuition sometimes, and that for far too long, you have a high intellect and you know how to articulate things quite well, but there must be a spiritual side, because how else is it that you Aquarius explain your ability to know when a person is insincere sometimes and to stay away from them? And you were right, but you would have been better off as far as not even wasting your time if you would have listened to what yourself was saying to yourself, and if you would have just essentially stayed away. And see, you Aquarius are learning how to actually do that. That's why there's an emphasis now on not just technological and intelligence and things like that, but also the non-physical things, the more abstract, the ideas, because that's what abstraction is. It's an idea. It's an idea. Abstraction is ideas, right? Look it up. Look up the definition to it, right? And so you can understand these non-physical things now like never before. The Seven of Gabriel and the Six of Michael represents how, but you also are beginning to understand how these things translate into your life. A lot of the times, see, part of where people have a problem with is the understanding of, see, here's the thing. People think I'm totally crazy. People think I'm losing my mind when I start talking to people about the spiritual stuff, right? And one of two things is either happening. It's either they don't practice what they preach, so they're acting like they are morally superior, right, for an agenda, or the other one is they do not know how to transfer these things that occur non-physically to physically, to where they can witness it and experience it for themselves. Why that's so important is because that's what was going on with you, Aquarius. All these years, you, Aquarius, have had problems being able to articulate and to experience. No, you experience it, but articulate and to make it into a more rooted, concrete thing where you can express it to other people, right? If anyone were to ask you, well, what is it that you, Aquarius, got going on? You will explain it to them on a spiritual level. Now you, Aquarius, understand things from a more spiritual perspective, as well as physical and everything else. Because sometimes the problem with earth signs and also with air signs is that we could be a little bit too practical, not enough spiritually, right? Not enough non-materially. We're so worried about we have to be able to prove it that sometimes things can't be proven all the time. It's not supposed to be every element of life is literally not supposed to be proven. Like when you pass on, no one can tell you for sure 100% stomp down what actually happens to you spiritually. I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about what happens. What happens to your brain waves? What happens to, you know what I'm saying? What happens to these things? What happens to these frequencies? These frequencies that are set. What happens to those things? And again, a lot of you, Aquarius, are learning how to actually express yourself on multiple levels. And why that's important is because you, Aquarius, have had problems dealing with the spiritual aspect of yourselves for years, because now it's a sense of you didn't know how to actually translate that. How is that going to look like in your daily life? And now you, Aquarius, are learning how to transmutate that, says the Seven of Wands and the Six of Michael. Because now you'll learn to trust yourself the next time your instincts tell you to stay away from this person. You will learn to trust yourself from not just one aspect, because sometimes it could be ego telling you that. But what I'm trying to say is that you, Aquarius, are going to be a lot more investigative. You will talk to the person, but then you will also listen to your own self when it says to leave you alone, to leave them alone. And then you'll check back in and try to see which one is which. Do they even match? And then you will learn to use that in your overall life, which will help you. Actually, it helps you with intelligence. Because we don't talk about how you can be so intelligent to the point where you get precognitive abilities, right? Where to the point where you get so intelligent, you could say what's going to happen. How is that even possible? It hasn't even happened yet, and yet something has already been predicted, and then it actually happens. But then when people will say, "Oh, that's out of your mind. That's insane when you start doing that stuff." But you have people who do that who know what they're talking about. So I don't know. It's just it's kind of odd. But let's clarify the Six of Michael. Tower, Seven of Wands, Queen of Cups, Page of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. That's my point. Because you realize that the Tower, the Seven of Wands, Queen of Cups, if you don't learn how to start listening to yourselves, you, Aquarius, are realizing that it could cost you. Look at how much problems not listening to yourself created on the job. You knew to stay away from certain people. You knew to stay away from certain people, even on a social level where you're getting to know these people on some friendship type stuff, or maybe even romantically. And you knew that you shouldn't have been hanging out with them, but yet you still did it. So a lot of you Aquarius are realizing you gotta listen to your mind, but you also have to listen to your heart, and you have to check to see if the two of them agree with one another. Despite what it is that people think. Because for me, I've stopped talking to many different people because I saw the writing on the wall, like you spazzing out, you yelling at me for no reason. And I'm trying to be patient with you because you've been so supportive before, but at the same time, it's like you can't like help yourself. You going into like this explosive fit of rage, spazzing on me and saying stuff that don't even make any sense. I feel like you're the one. And I'm like, I don't know what it is that you're referring to. So when I saw that, right? Because everybody makes mistakes. No one is perfect. I would see it once. I'm like, all right, okay, Then when the person kept going and going, and they did it again, and they kept going and going and going and going and going, stuff that isn't even relevant. Oh, I feel like you a punk, all this other type of stuff, X, Y, Z. Da, 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 da. I'm like, all right, you don't know me, you don't know what's going on, you're not my family. Who are you exactly, right? You don't know where I'm coming from. And then on top of that, you talking about how I'm a punk, taking stuff out of context. So, and I was a Virgo. So I had to get rid of that person. Like, nah, you taking this just based upon principle. You crossing boundaries. You crossing boundaries because this stuff don't even make any sense. And then and that's what's happening with you. Your lack of your ability to trust yourself and being too intelligent in the aspect of materialism or materially, you realize got you jammed up. So now the Page of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles represents you Aquarius are not going to be fooled now by this. People trying to make it seem, people trying to like make themselves like a symbol for your freedom. Like you got to buddy up with them in order for you to have some sort of like favor. I see a lot of you Aquarius are going to stick to whom you are, even if it ruffles feathers, and it will ruffle feathers, because people going to want you to be in their clique. They're going to want you to be in their little group or whatever. But that's it for now. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Peace.